Obamacare architect Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel over just how serious the threat of Ebola might be to Americans. This conversation took place as we got news yesterday of the first case of Ebola being diagnosed in the United States. Alongside Olga Villaverde, J.D. Hayworth back with you on America's Forum. We are pleased to welcome in via telephone Dr. Elaina George, board-certified ENT. Dr. George, we always appreciate your insights, and we welcome you back now to America's Forum.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back.
So, Doctor, the public was assured by numerous authorities that the likelihood of Ebola coming to the U.S. was slim at best. Now it's here. In your opinion, are we prepared to deal with a potential Ebola epidemic?
Honestly, I'm not sure that we are. Just looking at what happened in Texas, where the patient, went to the emergency room and was actually sent home without actually taking a travel history or really doing an in-depth intake, which would have immediately had him admitted when you know that he's coming from a country that the Ebola is running rampant, gives me pause.
Doctor, let me ask you something else. Dr. Russell Blaylock says Ebola will not affect Americans like it has those in Africa because many have weakened immune systems. Do you agree with this?
I actually think a lot of Americans don't have as robust an immune system as we should as well. We have a lot of habits that actually make our immune systems less robust than they should be. We eat processed foods. We don't sleep well. We don't take care of ourselves, and we're living under a great deal of stress. And by definition, that will all affect the immune system.
So, Elaina, you're saying really the opposite is true. It's less than robust immune systems for Americans, which would prompt the question: Does that mean that Ebola may find a foothold here in terms of spreading?
Listen, we have to remember this is a very virulent virus. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, what sex you are, what age you are. If you are in contact and you become infected, chances of you becoming sick are very high. That's what we do know. So I don't want people to get lulled into the sense of complacency that we're immune, that it can't happen here. The most important defense that we have is an offense, and that means that you do things to protect yourself, and you start using behaviors that are less inclined to get you into the path of a disease, of an illness. And good hygiene, excellent sleeping habits are number one. Sorry.
And doctor, you just mentioned about becoming infected. I'd like to know, do people become more infectious as they get sicker?
What's believed now is that the virus is passed when somebody is actively showing signs of illness, fever, rash, having diarrhea, or any sorts of vomiting. Those are body fluids, which if you come in contact with, you potentially can get the disease. I don't think that we can say with full authority that you can't pass this if the person is asymptomatic. If you look at the GYN doctors who took care of the patient in Africa who came down with Ebola, that patient was not actively infected, and he didn't do anything that, he wasn't involved with vomit or any kind of bodily secretion, technically. So it's a question mark. I think it's a healthy skepticism that people need to carry. As in order to think that they're immune, they really shouldn't think that.
Less than a minute in this particular segment, Dr. George, but I just have to ask you, bodily secretions, does that include perspiration? Can this be sweat? Can this be spread through sweat?
Technically, yes, because there are receptors on the skin that Ebola can actually attach itself to.
Well, with that in mind, Dr. George, obviously that is something that I think has a lot of us pretty worried. And again, we know you are not here to spread seeds of panic, rather deal with information. So here's what we're going to ask. Dr. George, stay with us through the next break. Let's talk more about Ebola, public health in the United States, and dare we say it, some who might be playing politics with public health. We do appreciate your time, and we'll be back to you, Elaina, on the other side of this break, okay?
Sure.
All right, you heard what the good doctor had to say. Spreading Ebola through perspiration? Wow, kind of scary. Your thoughts on Ebola? Tweet them to us at NewsmaxTV, #America's Forum. Olga and I will be back with a good doctor after this timeout.